Hello everyone, and welcome to English Story Radio channel. Today, I'm excited to share an English story with you. If you enjoy this story and want to see more like it, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you'll be the first to know when I upload new content. Without further ado, let's get started. The sun was just starting to rise over the small town of Millfield as Alex stepped off the bus. He had come to the town to investigate a mysterious case that had been bothering him for weeks. Alex was a private investigator, and this case was unlike any other he had ever taken on. The case involved a woman named Sarah, who had gone missing under suspicious circumstances. She had been a well-respected journalist, who had been working on a story about a powerful politician when she disappeared. Her family had hired Alex to find her, but the police had closed the case, claiming there was no evidence of foul play. Alex had been researching the case for weeks, trying to piece together any information he could find. But there was something strange about this case that he couldn't quite put his finger on. As he walked through the quiet streets of Millfield, he felt a sense of unease settle over him. He decided to start his investigation at the local newspaper where Sarah had worked. The editor, Mr. Johnson, was hesitant to talk to Alex at first, but after a bit of persuasion, he finally opened up. Sarah was working on a story about a powerful politician, Mr. Johnson said, his voice low. She had uncovered some things that could ruin his career. Alex's heart quickened at this information. Could the politician be involved in Sarah's disappearance? He thanked Mr. Johnson and left the newspaper office, determined to dig deeper into the politician's background. He spent hours poring over public records, newspaper articles, and social media profiles, searching for any clues that could lead him to the truth. As the day turned to night, Alex's investigation led him to a small diner on the outskirts of town. The diner was run down, but it was bustling with activity. As he stepped inside, he noticed a group of men sitting in the corner, deep in conversation. Alex approached them cautiously and introduced himself. They looked up at him, sizing him up, before one of them spoke. "What do you want?" he asked, his voice gruff. "I'm investigating a case," Alex said, trying to sound confident. "I'm looking for a woman named Sarah, who went missing a few weeks ago. I think there might be a connection to a politician." The men exchanged glances before the one who had spoken before nodded. "We might know something," he said, standing up. "Follow me." Alex followed the man outside and into a dark alley. His heart pounded in his chest as he wondered if he had made a mistake. But he couldn't turn back now. The man led Alex to a door at the end of the alley and knocked 3 times. The door opened, and they stepped inside. It was a dimly lit room, with a table in the center. Seated at the table was the politician that Sarah had been investigating. "What do you want?" the politician asked, his voice cold. "I want the truth," Alex said, his voice steady. "What happened to Sarah?" The politician looked at Alex for a long moment before finally speaking. "I had her killed," he said, his voice devoid of emotion. "She was getting too close to the truth, and I couldn't let that happen." Alex felt a surge of anger and disgust wash over him. He had been right all along. Sarah's disappearance was not just a simple case of a missing person. But before he could react, the politician pulled out a gun and pointed it at Alex. "You're not leaving here alive," he said, a cold smile on his face. But before the politician could pull the trigger, the door burst open, and a group of police officers rushed in, guns drawn. They had been listening in on the conversation, waiting for the right moment to make their move. The politician was quickly apprehended, and Alex was escorted out of the building. As he stepped outside, he took a deep breath of fresh air, relieved to be alive. He had solved the case, but at what cost? Sarah was still gone, and her family was left with the pain of not knowing what had happened to her. Alex felt a sense of guilt wash over him. He had promised to find Sarah, but he had failed. As he walked back to his hotel room, Alex couldn't shake the feeling of unease that had settled over him. He had solved the mystery, but at what cost? He couldn't help but wonder if there was more to the story than he had uncovered. Days turned into weeks, and Alex continued to investigate the case, digging deeper and deeper into the politician's past. And finally, he uncovered the truth. Sarah had been working on a story about the politician's involvement in a human trafficking ring. She had uncovered evidence that could put him away for life, and he couldn't let that happen. He had ordered her killed to protect his own interests. Alex was horrified at this discovery, but he was also relieved to have finally uncovered the truth. He contacted the police with his findings, and they reopened the case, leading to the politician's eventual arrest and conviction. As for Sarah, her body was never found, but her family finally had closure. They knew the truth about what had happened to her, and they could begin to heal. Alex knew that this case would stay with him for the rest of his life. He had solved the mystery, but he had also uncovered a dark truth about the world that he lived in. But he was grateful for the opportunity to make a difference, to bring justice to a woman who had been wronged. And as he looked out at the world, he knew that there were more mysteries to be solved, more truths to be uncovered. And he was ready to face them all, one mystery at a time.